Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. There are several headlines now that just hit confirming that there is a cost of living adjustment. These all just happened within the last several minutes, and I wanted to make sure that I got this out to you as quick as possible. I will be doing multiple videos on this just to make sure we get a wide disbursement, a wide array out there, so we can make sure the information gets into the hands of those that need it. So the annual adjustment here, the COLA, cost of living adjustment, we're looking at is a 3.2%. At least that's what all the articles are saying. I mean, who knows, right? Weird things happen. But 3.2%. The headline here, my rooster for all of you, senior citizens will see much smaller Social Security boost for 2024. Again, all these things you see are going to aim toward Social Security because the Veterans Affairs adjustment is kind of a byproduct. So Social Security recipients will receive an annual cost of living adjustment of 3.2% for 2024, a much smaller increase than the inflation-fueled boost for the past 2 years. Remember, it was 8.7. Prior to that, it was 5 point something. The Social Security Administration announced this today, Thursday. The lower adjustment reflects the fact that inflation has moderated this year. Recipients had received increases of 8.7 for 2023 and 5.9 the year before that, which were the largest since the early 80s. Now, remember as well that the COLA obviously is reflecting into Social Security benefits, but the COLA, cost of living adjustment, will also increase your pay with certain VA benefits, such as your VA disability compensation, clothing allowance, dependency and indemnity compensation for spouse and children. When is this going to go into effect, right? That's a big question for folks. It's approved now. It goes into effect for January 2024. However, that January payment is usually on the 1st, and that is a holiday, and that holiday is a Monday. So for example, here you may be getting your benefit reflected at the end of December. So say December, what is it, 29th, I believe, is the Friday. Let me pull up my calendar here. October, November, December 29th. December 29th is Friday. So here I pulled up January 2024. Those increased benefits will take effect in January 2024 for Social Security recipients. Those receiving SSI, on the other hand, will see their first adjustment benefits near the end of December 2023. So a couple different things there. It goes on here in the article that I pulled up. There's a quotation. It says, "It's a small amount, but it's providing some cushion," said Mary Johnson, Social Security policy analyst at the Senior Citizens League and Advocacy Group. "We have the hope that things are going to be more affordable." So, in other words, hoping that prices come down. Probably that's pie in the sky, but anyway, moving upward is always good. The boost remains well above the average over the past 2 decades, which is 2.6%, she said. The annual adjustment is based on inflation metric from August through October, which is cooled after being around 4 decades high a year ago. So a related metric, the Consumer Price Index, increased 3.7% in September compared with a year ago. The Bureau of Labor Statistics announced Thursday. So that's the data that came out this morning, which was the last piece of the pie for COLA. Still, while the rate of increase was slowed, prices remain high. Still struggling, the article goes on, and all of you know this, right? Still struggling with these lower increases. And I'm going to insert the little side note here. I did a video a couple days ago about 2 pieces of legislation, right? 2 pieces of legislation that are calling for higher COLA calculations. This would be important, I would think. But if nobody's pounding on congressional members' desks saying, yes, that's what we need, well, then there's no fuel behind it, right? So sometimes what we see is a bill get introduced, that's the spark, but they need some fuel, right? We, the constituency, are the fuel. So the way that they're looking about it is utilizing the CPIE, which is the elderly index, versus the CPIW, which is the clerical workers index. So important to understand that this stuff's going on and that we need to be an active part of it so we can get a higher COLA in years to come. So through this still struggling piece, it states here, though the annual adjustment is aimed at helping Social Security's roughly 71 million recipients contend with rising prices, benefits have actually kept pace for years. Many older Americans rely heavily on their monthly payments to cover their living expenses. Inflation has caused Social Security payments to lose 36% of their buying power since 2000. Then I argue that that is also true of VA benefits, because if VA benefits, in the year 2000 were X, and then we received the same COLA, right, the same cost of living adjustments, increasing that pay, then what happens is we are in the same boat. So, in other words, our VA benefits lose 36% of their buying power since 2000, right? So that's important to understand. According to a study released earlier this year by the Senior Citizens League, monthly benefits would have to increase by $517 to maintain the same level of buying power as in the year 2000. Tom and Susan Fryer of Palmdale, California are feeling the pinch. The couple, who depend largely on Social Security and her small teacher's pension, were able to set aside enough funds 5 years ago to celebrate their anniversary with a weekend in Newport Beach. That's out of the question this year. That's money gone, said Tom Fryer, 72, who worked in advertising. That money goes to, true, goes in the gas tank. It goes to the grocery bill. The 8.7% boost in their monthly benefits the past year helped, but it's not enough to cover the higher cost of medicine and homeowners association fees, so forth, in addition to the gas and groceries. Tom has taken up writing screenplays in hope of earning some extra bucks, though the recent writer's strike put his efforts on hold temporarily. If he's not able to sell one soon, he thinks he'll have to get a job. He's 72 years old. It's ridiculous. If we got hit with some sort of a disaster, another medical emergency, or my daughter in a crisis or something like that, we'd be creamed, said Fryer, who until recently was battling cancer. Wow. Well, it sounds like he got past that, so that's good. Some advocates would like to see the annual benefit increase tied to an experimental index that measures inflation experienced by the elderly. That is the CPIE that I had talked about, rather than the current metric, which reflects price changes for urban wage earners and clerical workers. The former puts more weight on the cost increase for health care, which makes up much larger share for seniors spending. And so that's pretty much it. I mean, the big piece is here that we're looking at a 3.2%. You're looking at January effective. However, the 1st is a holiday and should roll back to December 29th. So thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.